Welcome to Hoffman's Hunting Heritage. Load your quiver, camo up, and join us for another great episode of Outdoors Action. Here is your host, Bill Hoffman.
Hello and welcome back to Hoffman's Hunting Heritage. I'm your host, Bill Hoffman, and this week's show is all about what's in my pack. And what do I mean by that? I literally have my hunting backpack right here, the pack that I take with me into the field on pretty much every hunt, and I'm going to empty it. Reason being, my deer season starts in 5 days, and every year I just take it apart, make sure everything's there. I'm going to wash the pack in scent-free detergent, and then I'll run it through a scent ozone bag, basically a scent blocker bag, and make sure it's all good to go. I don't usually wash it for the rest of the season unless it gets bloody or muddy. I will, however, toss it in the scent locker bag, or scent crusher. I guess that's the brand I use. I don't know, ozone bag. I'll throw it in the scent crusher bag, and I will purify it. But other than that, I'm just gonna hop right in. I have to empty this bag out, so I'm literally just going to empty it out and put stuff here on my work desk so that I can just load it back up again. So you may hear some noise in the background and whatnot. It's literally just me plopping stuff down on the desk, getting ready to do this show for you. So first of all, a little bit about the pack this year. Before, I'm using a Tenzing. I've used a bunch of different bags over the years. I've liked some, I didn't like some. I've used expensive bags. I've used cheap bags. I think Tenzing is probably middle range. I mean, it's not a Badlands. It's not, like Kifaru or something like that, but it's also not something you're going to necessarily pick up on the shelf at like a Walmart or a Meijer. This size is a normal size, like you'd see a kid take to school, I guess. Backpack, maybe a little bit bigger. The model is TX 14.5, so I guess that's 14.5 cubic inch. I believe that's how they measure that stuff. That's really just the main pocket, though. It's got crap all over the place for me to stuff in. So, first of all, one of the reasons I picked this is Tenzing has really good zippers and really high quality zippers, and the pulls on the zippers are bright orange. I like those. They're molded plastic, and you can reach them in the dark. You can get in. If you have to get something, you have to reach behind you. It's easy to find with dexterity with your finger and your thumb. That's definitely one of the reasons I like this pack. The other reason is on the very front, it's not like MOLLE strapping, but it's got strapping where you can hook random stuff to it. And right now I've got a Thermacell hooked to it. Now I carry my it's an older model Thermacell. It's actually in the little carrying kit. It's in the little carrying kit itself, has extra pads and extra fuel. So that just sits right there on the outside strapped in. Other things I may strap into these extra straps is when it gets colder out. A lot of times I'll clip an extra pair of gloves on it. Anything on these front things, anything that can dangle really works good. A lot of times my grunt call will be there. Endless possibilities, right? But what that does is this has a compression, kind of like a bungee cord flap on it, and it pretty much acts as another pocket. And what I put in there generally is clothing. This is a good spot where I can roll up my my heavy coat, my safety harness, because I don't always walk in with my safety harness on. Sometimes I put it on at the base of the tree, and that is basically what I do there. So on the top of the bag, there's a top pocket here. I zip it. It's the only pocket on this particular bag that's felt lined, and obviously that's because I'm pretty sure it's the electronics compartment. And so pulling stuff out here, I have a plastic baggie, sandwich bag size bag full of cattail fibers. Now, what these are, just, Pussy Willows, cattails, the big brown thing. These are great wind checkers. Actually, there's a lot of milkweed mixed in here as well. So all natural, completely perfect to use. Way better than powder. I guess that's the tip of the day, right? Is you release some of these fibers and you just rub them together and put them in the wind, and it'll show you thermals. It'll show you where your scent is going downwind a lot farther than a lot of those. The vapor things, like the scent bomb grenade thing. That's pretty cool. It's fun to play with, but it's not as effective as these are, and plus this is free. So you stop by any cattail marsh anywhere, grab 2 of them, and they're going to last forever. So I got a plastic bag right there, and like I said, this is the electronics department of the bag. So I have a battery backup that I take. I don't know anything about models or whatnot, but this one will charge my phone like 6 or 7 times. So it works absolutely perfectly. I'm on my phone. I use it a lot for Onyx. And when you're using Onyx maps with your phone, you're going to be using data as well as your GPS, which does drain the phone's battery more. So definitely always have that charger in it. Plus, I listen to hunting podcasts and stuff. How I do that normally is I do it with an earbud. I'll have an earbud in one ear only, and then the other ear open to listen. And does it take a little bit away from hunting? Maybe, but my opinion on it is this: if it helps you stay in the tree longer, it goes in the pro, not the con, right? So it is what it is, but it does help me, audiobooks, stuff like that. So that was the very front pocket. Like I said, is a compression. It's open. That's where I'll put straps. I got my little tiny pocket, the felt line. That's where I put electronics. And I guess we call this the front pocket, the front main pocket. And I'm just going to start grabbing stuff out of here. See, it does have a little key hook here. I don't usually hook keys to it. That's usually where I hook my grunt call. It's on a lanyard. So that goes there. Reaching down in, I got a pair of Easy Cut ratcheting pliers there. And there's a folding saw down here. And the folding saw is it's nothing special. It's a folding saw. I use it to clear limbs and whatnot. And there is some upper pockets here. On this bag, there's 3 upper pockets, and I kind of have them organized left to right, so I know what is what. In the left, I have a stick of Evercalm. It's it's made by Conquest Scents. It's pretty much the only scent I actually use. It's a calming scent. I put it on my boots, and for some reason, I don't think it attracts deer, but it doesn't spook them. And if one gets on your trail, like, they cross your trail or whatnot, they generally don't think twice about smelling human. They just smell another deer. And then, okay, so in the behind that, I have 2 extra bowstrings. I am a traditional bow hunter, so extra bowstrings are super important to have because we're forever nicking them with a broadhead, or they just get worn out. And for us trad guys, switching those strings up is not a big deal. As long as you know what you're doing, you can tune them all right. This middle pocket, plain as day, all day long. I always have the exact same thing: chemical hand warmers. Just the hot hands. You just open them up. They're always there in the middle. I use them for everything, guys. I buy a big case of them at Costco or whatnot, and they last forever. So and when you have a lot of them, you find you use more of them because they're not as precious, which I think is a good thing, right? So I use a hand muff when I hunt because I don't wear gloves, so I always have my hands in my hand muff. And 1 or 2 of those inside the hand muff, it doesn't matter how cold it is on the coldest of days, it works like a champ. And then, but the other thing is, if you're doing a rustic camp, you take a couple of those and you put them in your boots at the end of the night, or when you go to bed. And when you wake up in the morning, you got warm boots. And likewise, I also throw usually 2 or 3 of them in my sleeping bag as well. Even if I don't need it, even if I know I'm perfectly fine, warm-wise, it's not even going to be that cold, it's still one of those comfort things, and it's cheap, and it's relatively free and whatnot. All right, the next pocket over is pocket number 3. We got a little Maglite flashlight. I don't really use the Maglite flashlight for much, except for maybe emergencies, or to look around if I drop something or whatnot. I do have a bigger flashlight. As plus, what you're going to see next in this next pocket is my headlamp. I'm not a guy that spends a lot of money on headlamps because I lose them. I understand there's a lot better headlamps than the ones the Energizer ones. I buy them at Walmart. They're $15 for a 2-pack sometimes. Sometimes, you can get them a little bit better deal than that even, because I lose them. I'm hard on them. I lose them. My kids play with them because we all hike, we all camp, and when we're up camping, everyone has headlamps on because we camp rustically. So that's just the way I roll. I know there's Phoenix ones and Torx ones and all these nice ones. I'm just not that guy. I'm not going to spend the money on it. And then, so I got my lights in that. And then the rest of this pocket is just stuffed with 550 paracord. If you've read the Twins of Prey series, you know how much I like paracord. It's so useful in so many situations, either deer drags or bow hauls or tourniquets or a bootlace that break. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and list like a ton of crap that you can do with 550 paracord, except for the fact that it needs to be in every hunter's kit. Now, in the bottom of this pouch, this I guess we'll call this pocket number 3. This pocket number 3 is really big. It can fit a lot. In fact, a lot of small day packs, this is all you have is this pocket. But in the bottom of it, there is a zipper pocket that's kind of out of the way. And the reason I keep this stuff in here makes sense. I hope to never have to get into this pocket, so I keep it tucked away. This is my emergency gear. Okay, so pulling out here, I have another. This is probably, I'm guessing, 50 foot of 550 paracord. We've got a Mylar emergency space blanket. Like the big silver ones that you can build a shelter with, or you can signal with, or keep you warm. Then I got a package here that's got 3 compasses, because, if you have 1, you have none. If you have 2, you have a few. And if you have 3, you have enough, or whatever that saying goes. So there's 3 compasses in here, a waterproof match holder full of matches, as well as 3 lighters. Now, these are just Bic lighters. The only thing you have to be careful with if you are a Western hunter and you're using these type of Bic lighters is they react differently at different atmospheres, elevations. So, some lighters could be harder than others to get started. So it's just one thing to keep in mind. And I have a rain poncho in here, as well as 2 whistles. So whistles are great for calling for help or whatnot. And then if I keep on digging down in here, I have my most underused item is glow sticks. Yeah, glow sticks. If you're in the military, you call them chem lights, but or chem sticks. But yeah, they're super, super effective at signaling for help. Think about it this way. You take 550 paracord and you tie it to a glow stick at night and you start swinging that around like a helicopter. They're going to be able to see that for miles and miles away in the sky if they're looking for you. Also, they're colors that just stick out. They're colors that draw people's eyes, draw people attention. If you're lost down in a valley and someone's on the top of the hill glassing the valley trying to find you, they might not see your flashlight even, but they sure as hell will see a glow stick doing figure 8s. So glow sticks are super, super good thing to have. And lastly, down here in this pocket, I have a package of Quick Clot bandage. Now, what this is you guys know I work in law enforcement, and what this is it's a bandage, kind of like an ACE bandage that has a coagulating property built into it chemically. So you cut yourself real bad with a broadhead. You can wrap it with this to, it'll help stop the bleeding. Even in arterial bleed, it will help with that. Obviously, with the arterial bleed, you want to get this bandage on, and then you want a tourniquet as much as you can. If there's a nightmare situation where you're shot, you take this stuff and you literally plug it into the wound. You just keep pushing it, soak up into the wound. Let's not forget that most guys in Vietnam died from hemorrhage, died from blood loss. That's because they didn't have tourniquets and stuff like this. And if you die in the woods, a lot of times it's because hemorrhage is going to be a big part of it. You accidentally cut yourself, you fall down and a broadhead goes through your leg. All kinds of shit can happen, right? So, having quick clot is just a great thing to have. One thing to keep in mind is it does have an expiration date on it. I believe most of them are good for 3 to 4 years. So it is one of those items that you do have to replace, and it's not cheap, but it's getting better and better, and you can buy this at any hiking store, any outdoor store. I think Walmart Myers is starting to carry it, and you can always check like the first aid aisle too. So if not, plenty of it on Amazon. Easy, just type quick clot or stop bleed or anything like that. So with that being said, we're gonna hop into the major the biggest bag size here, the biggest pocket. Now in the back flap, there is a spot where you can put in a hydration bladder. It does have the hole at the top for the hydration hose to come through. I don't use one per se, the Camelback. Maybe if I go on like a long scouting trip, I'll use one, but I'll generally do that in a different pack. The reason is with this is my day hunting pack, right? This isn't a pack that you're going to take for long trips and stuff like that. This will get you through a weekend hunt. Don't get me wrong. But other than that, I just carry water bottles or whatnot with this particular pack. This is like a back 40 whitetail pack, I guess is a good way to put it. But I actually don't keep much in here. In fact, there's only one other thing in here because I leave this big compartment for like my water bottle. A lot of times clothing will go in here. My lunch will go in this part. If I have any safety tethers or stuff, this is just the big pocket that catches all. And most times I don't really even open it other than to get maybe my food out. So that's basically what it uses for that. But in the bottom, I do have a little knapsack, a little haversack or whatever you want to call it, a little guy purse, a little day pack. And basically this is a everyday carry tactical like saddle purse. But what I use it for is it's a kill kit, and it's about the size of a basketball shoe. And it's got, if I do kill something, this is what I want to take with me. This is what I take when I track. I don't take the big bag. This has pretty much everything I need in it for kill kit. So let's just open this front pouch here. I actually don't have anything in there right now, but what does go in there is another thing of stop bleed and gauze. I have to replace that. It did go out of date. See, I just reminded myself I got to go pick one of those up. That does go in the front pouch right there, along with here is more survival stuff. So again, I have another survival kit in this pouch, so I don't have to transfer them. So in this survival kit, I have 3 lighters, a bunch of waterproof mattresses, waterproof matches, not mattresses. Geez. There's a Mylar blanket, and here is another compass and a couple of whistles and 2 glow sticks. So again, safety comes first. That's all in there. But the main pouch is the business end. Here, let me move this bag. Toilet paper. Toilet paper is good for a couple different reasons. 1, you can start fires with it. 2, you can wipe your ass with it. And 3, you can mark your blood trail with it, which is hopefully the real reason it's in there, but don't be fooled. I'd take plenty of poops in the woods. Okay, and then here I have a couple packs of field dressing gloves. All right, call me sissy, call me what you want. These things are badass. I don't care. These are basically gloves, like plastic gloves that are about the thickness of a garbage bag. They go all the way up to your shoulders. They have a rubber band at the top. And then for dexterity, there's a pair of like surgical, nylon. Well, I guess they're not nylon, but I forget whatever they're called. doctors wear, vinyl gloves, and you put those on, and it just keeps you clean. It just really does. Now, if you're doing the gloveless method or you're out west, it's not as big of a deal. But for me, I like to be perfectly clean and have all the dexterity in the world. There's 2 or 3 packs in there, and I reach down farther, and I've got some game bags here. I just carry 2 big game bags. One, I can do a deer in one of these because they're so big. They're like 4 foot long. I usually cut them in half. You tie a knot. And generally, I can get a normal sized deer out in 2 packs of these. No problem whatsoever. When I do that, I'm taking the back straps and the tenderloins and, in one bag. And then, it's one bag split into 2, and then basically I have 3 bags left, and I got, the front shoulders I'll take, and I'll usually debone those right there in the field because they're super easy. Throw those in a bag, and then I've got 2 bags left, and I put each rear hind leg in a bag, and good to go. I don't carry it all out at once for damn sure, but I do that. Okay, and then now we're gonna get on to some of the tools. I have a Calamus titanium bone saw. Basically, all I use this for is splitting that pelvic bone and then also cutting up the rib cage all the way up into the sternum. Yeah, you can do it with a buck knife. Yeah, you can do it with a hatchet or whatever. I like using this bone saw because it doesn't leave the bones sharp. They're not going to nick you. They're not going to scratch you. They're not going to grab onto the stomach as you're rolling it backwards. Nothing. It works like a champ. It's great. And then I have a bunch of zip ties. Zip ties are super convenient. The reason I like zip ties is, there's survival aspects of zip ties too. You can even put a bunch of them together to make a tourniquet. But generally what I use them for, honestly, guys, is attaching my tag. I can fold our tags in Michigan, our sticker. I can fold them around the zip tie and cut a hole in the deer's ear or right through that back tendon on the back leg, and boop, your deer's tagged. And the tag's easy to read, it's clean, and then if you take your deer to the butcher, it's super easy to cut off and handle. It just makes everything easier. And then I have my workhorse knives. I can get a deer with a broadhead, so it doesn't really matter. But what I do like to use is the Outdoor Edge knives. This is a 2-pack. It's got it's got orange handles. There's one that's like a caping knife, but it works great for everything. Of course, I keep all my stuff razor sharp. You guys know I'm kind of crazy when it comes to razor sharp stuff. I learned that from Jason Samkoviak for sure. And the other one is more of a skinning knife versus a caping knife, but this skinning knife does have a gut hook on it. Haven't always used a gut hook, didn't grow up using a gut hook. Love it. Love using the gut hook. It makes everything super fast, super easy, especially if you are going to save the pelt and the hide. If say like you shoot a big buck and you're going to mount it, having that gut hook's nice because you can just, zip it right up the chest, go down the legs, go around the back, and then you switch to the caping knife and you just work your way up. All right, that was a lot of talking. I'm looking here, I'm at like 23 minutes, and I realized mission accomplished. That is everything that is in my pack. Now, a few things I didn't mention that will be season specific, like the deer calls, stuff like that, or when gun hunting and rifle season comes around, I'll have, because I hunt with a muzzle loader most of the time, I'll have, extra powder, extra sabos, extra bullets, stuff like that. During archery season, I'm going to have a little sharpening kit. And then, in case you drop a broadhead down to the bottom of the tree, it sticks in the dirt, you bring it back up, you want to just profile an edge on it real quick. Because I shoot big 2-blade broadheads, it's not an issue. Super easy to do. And, everyone should be shooting 2-blade broadheads for that reason, or 3-blade. But super easy to resharpenable broadheads, I mean. So that's gonna wrap it up. There is one thing that's not in this bag that I just remember. See, this was so good. So I got to get that quick clap for my kill kit. And I also, this year, I bought a little mini grappling hook. I saw it on the Traditional Bow Hunting and Wilderness Podcast YouTube page, and I said, well, that is slick as shit. It's little, it's tiny, it's counterweighted, and you drop an arrow, you drop your hat, your gloves, anything. You got 550 paracord, you got a bow rope anyway too, but you just slap this baby down and you can pick it up and bring it back up to you without climbing down the tree. Super convenient, doesn't take up any space in the pack, zero reason not to use it. And for more information on that, you guys should just go to the YouTube page, Traditional Bow Hunting Wilderness Podcast, Jason Samkoviak's page. Awesome dude. Great podcast as well as YouTube channel. I've learned so much from him, and he's become a really good friend. So that's going to wrap it up. I got an idea. Of course, you guys know that these come to your phone, the podcast, they go to YouTube. However you listen to it, whether it's on YouTube or Facebook, a lot of people are watching on Facebook videos. Just leave a comment and let me know what you have in your pack that I don't. I'm sure there's something. I'm sure I'm missing something. And it doesn't mean that I think you're wrong or I'm right or you're wrong, or did I say the same thing twice? I did. But what I mean by that is, it's a good jumping point for discussion. What do you carry that I don't? Because I bet you a lot of us would be like, oh, I never thought of that. So anyway, guys, hunt season's here. It's almost here. I'm super pumped. I'm going to be out antlerless hunting for a special season here in Michigan with the muzzleloader. I'm taking both kids. It's going to be a lot of fun out on the farm. Hopefully we can knock 2 down. I got a tag, and so does my 10-year-old daughter. So really looking forward to that. Get outdoors. It's a wild place to be. We'll see you back next week.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Hoffman's Hunting Heritage. Get outdoors. It's a wild place to be.